Welcome to Great Talk and Entertainment. I'm your host, KJ, and this is the podcast where I review movies and TV shows from my favorite superheroes, including Marvel Comics, DC Comics, and much more. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talk and Entertainment official channel. Now let's go, baby. Welcome everyone back to the podcast / YouTube channel, Great Talk and Entertainment official channel. And this is going to be my spoiler review for the new series on Max by DC Comics, The Penguin Episode 3 spoiler review. Again, this is a spoiler review. If you have not seen this, pause this, give me a thumbs up, because I would appreciate that, and that would help the YouTube channel grow. Go watch it, come back, and check out my spoiler review, and leave a comment below on how you think about this series so far and how you think about this particular episode. So, do that. Now, again, this is a spoiler review. Y'all been warned. This episode starts off with a flashback with Victor, and the timeline takes place during the explosion by the Riddler in the Batman movie starring Robert Pattinson. We see that Victor has been showing a lot of interest in the streetlight business, as we see friction between Victor and his dad, his dad is somebody who's a family man. He's the type of dad that teaches us that, hey, or not us, but him, I should say, Victor, that, where they were at before was a lot worse to what their current situation. Because we see Victor trying to convince his dad, like, hey, Dad, you do a really good job. Like, you should be working for this. They're going to pay you a lot more. But his dad's loyal to his boss, his current boss at this time, and whatever job he's doing. And he's happy with that. But Victor seems to show that he wants to be more. He wants to have more. And we see that he has a girlfriend. That's the girl, Garcia, that we see has been texting him throughout this season so far. And, they're going to hang out, but his dad knows that Victor's going to hang out with somebody who's going to be a bad influence on him. And as they're hanging out on top of the roof, they're having a conversation, and they see that explosion. And then that's when they come back to reality, and Victor is just, in a blank stare while Penguin's trying to explain to the plan that what's is going on. And he's supposed to drive Penguin and Sophia Falcone around, but things change as she shows up. She meets Victor. She gets a good sense of who he is, and that's why I believe she told him, hey, stay behind. We're going to be out late. I think she can tell that Victor is a kind kid. He's somebody who's very gullible. He does not understand what's actually going on, and she sees like his faults, his struggles. And obviously it's the easy one is the stuttering, because throughout this film we see like Penguin being a big brother to him on that, and showing that that's who he is, this is who you are, and don't let people push you around type situation. And I think Sophia it's very interesting when I bring this up, is she's kind of playing like the big sister to Victor in a way. Like, she sees the good in him, she sees the potential though, and so that's why she told him to stay back. And so she's making Penguin be like the driver, in which he does, because again, this episode shows us that he's still trying to play both families, and he has a bigger master plan. And he doesn't want Sophia Falcone involved. He don't want the Maroons involved. He don't want anybody. Just his people, his crew, his whatever. This is the origin story in the sense of like Penguin becoming Penguin, the crime mob of Gotham City. Like, it's a little backwards, but it's okay, because it's like Penguin right now is not well established. He's well known, and other families, he's just the guy who coattails such and such, or he's a dog, he's a weasel, he's a whatever. And he's got a lot to prove. So we're watching the him build up to become the Penguin that we all know and people are familiar with. So really good. I really like that. Really liked how they set that tone for this particular episode. And then again, Sophia Falcone tells Penguin where to drive, and they go to this little building where her and her brother Alberto, who's no longer with us now since he got shot in the first episode, he had these magic shrooms, like mushrooms basically, and they have red crystals. Now, I don't know like the drug things. I don't know all that good stuff, but I believe that this is just a made up drug. Like, I don't think mushrooms, like shrooms, can grow red crystals. I'm not an expert on that, so I don't know. But all I know is this is a powerful party trick to Penguin because the guy who takes care of it, like, he has the green thumb. He's like, he gardens it, he fixes it. He's very hippie like, and he tries to like fist bump Penguin, but Penguin's like, this is crazy, this is stupid. But he agrees to go with this, and so now they got to find somebody who can distribute this stuff. And of course, Penguin has a plan, but he has to try to get things right because it's about to get nuts. Then the episode goes back to Victor and his girlfriend, and she tells him that she's going to California, and she said you should go too. And now throughout this episode, we see Victor is torn between the opportunity that Penguin has given him versus life without that, but with her. But he sees like Penguin as a big brother. Penguin's always encouraging him to be his best, and he's telling him like, hey man, this is a dog eat world. Like, you just take what you want type feel. And like, you know, where he's with Penguin, nobody bullies him, nobody pushes him around. Even though like in the scene where when the Penguin and Sophia go into this club that's run by another family, but we see in that scene, right, that, you know, they don't like Penguin. He owes them money for some cigarette deal. And, you know, he tells them about the drug, and Sophia Falcone explains to it. But, you know, while he's outside waiting, you know, for that conversation to get done and see what's the next step, a police says, hey, get out of this car. Like, you're parked. You can't be parked here. And he's like, are you on drugs? And he's like, no, I just stuttered like this. And he turns him around, puts his hands on the car, and he searches him down. And he finds the money, right? And he's like, what money? I think it's yours money. He's like, hey, when your boss gets back, get out, right? Like the cop took the bribe. And see, that's where Victor's torn about this, because without him, that cop would have whooped on him, arrested him, planted some drugs on him, whatever you can imagine. The worst of the worst can happen. You know, he's an easy target to be picked on, basically. And if he goes to California with his girlfriend, which now will probably be more of his ex-girlfriend, because he ghosted her, didn't say her goodbye, he watched her leave, but that's what he's torn. And you can tell from the flash, that's why they had that flashback scene before the explosion, that the Riddler and his little goons put the bombs in that stadium where the mayor was at. You know, he was kind of already interested in doing the street lives, doing the drops. Because, like, this is kind of what he was doing. Like, you know, at first I was like, man, is he scared? Is he nervous to walk around that club with that book bag of drugs? But obviously this is what he wanted to do. And when Penguin, like, gives that raw speech, you know, he feels comfortable with that. But when they go back, while that conversation's happening with the cop and he's waiting for the Penguin to get out, this is the scene where basically the guy's like, all right, we'll do this, but if Johnny VD says it's okay, we'll distribute it. So now they have to figure out to convince this guy, which again, Johnny VD is wanting Sofia Falcone to go to Italy. Like she only has 3 days, or he's gonna tell people that she went to Italy, basically like murder her, basically, and she's not gonna play because now her daddy's gone. She has nobody to protect her, so now she's gotta. She don't trust the penguin, but she's gotta. This is the only cars that she's dealt with, so she's got to work with the penguin. Not got to, but she's gonna have to play along with penguin. But she's watching her back. She's very cautious, and she knows not to trust penguin. And again, they see that. So what they do is, after I told you about Victor again patted down by the police, Victor tells Penguin about this. And, Victor is trying to still fight between this, but, Penguin's like, hey, I'm proud of you. That's good, but that's the life of the business. Sorry. Like, like, even this happens to the Penguin. You know, you got to pay off the cops, bribe them off to get off your back if you're going to do this type of business. And they're having this nice restaurant, and this is the part again where they're ordering some food, and Victor's trying to explain what type of steak he wants. Steak. And he's trying to say, and he stutters, and the waiter, I should say, not waitress, it's a waiter, kind of interrupts him, and the penguin's like, hey, you let that man talk. And he says it, and Penguin's basically telling Victor, like, man, you don't let people push you on. You make them wait. You're a paying customer. You let him wait. That's how it goes. And so after they eat, they realize that, okay, the lady that Penguin's watching is the lady that Johnny's been sleeping with. This is the wife of Sophia's uncle. And they've been having an affair, so they break in, and that's how they convince Johnny VD to make that phone call to make it legit so they can sell those drugs at this particular club, which they did. And that's where it goes back to Victor walking around that backpack. But then that's where he has he gets triggered, so his trauma kicks in because of the lights. And he remembers the explosion, and he kind of drops it, but one of the ladies like, yo, get your shit together. Like, and that's where he goes in the bathroom and has a conversation with Penguin, and he explains why, but it was very emotional. You can tell Penguin was hurt because he was like, I gave you everything. I gave you opportunities nobody ever will. And as he's driving in Penguin's car, that's where he turns back. Watch his girlfriend leave and get on that bus and go to California. He comes back and saves Penguin and Sophia from getting shot from the Maroney family because they're catching on or something. But what's funny is Victor asks Penguin in the car, like, hey, should we get back for Sophia? And she's like, nah, forget her. Again, Penguin's playing both families. And sometimes in this episode, I kind of forgot that. Just because what's interesting about this episode is Victor and Penguin are facing things that they need to face. Their challenges, basically. Victor's challenge is he needs to understand, like, is he going to stay or is he going to go? Because if he stays and he's in this. Like, he's going to have blood on his hand. He's going to be known as a criminal. Guess what? Batman's going to be out to get him if he gets on Batman's radar in life, which probably will at some point. Same thing with Penguin. Penguin wants to be the mobster of Gotham. He wants to take down both families to have his own little empire in Gotham City. And guess what? He's got to face some really challenges. And, how do you make this plan and keep both families off your radar? And how do you not leave trails? But it seems like Penguin made a mistake. But through episode 1 and 2, it shows that he's really quick on his feet, and he can always talk his way out of something. So if Sophia Falcone is still alive and didn't get shot, then we're good. But how does he explain this to her? Which is going to be interesting. And what I think too in this episode that I like, what I think is going to happen is, I think Sophia Falcone is going to catch Penguin mess up, and he's going to get exposed by her. And I think that's the real war of the crime gang war that's going to happen. But I think Penguin's going to have to figure out how to get everybody down. He's got a lot of people, but Sophia Falcone also understands who he has heart for. Like, he's seen a Penguin kiss one of the girls. She sees that he has a soft spot for Victor. You know, she sees that he's very ambitious and he has a plan. So after this, she may go rogue and say, "Okay, I'm out for everybody." She's crazy, of course, but it's gonna be very interesting, like, to see these challenges, because now it just went south. You know, the plan ain't perfect no more, but it's gonna be very interesting to see how Penguin gets out of this situation. How does he explain this to Sophia? And is this the last time they're working together? Because I don't think she's dead. I don't think she got shot and killed. I think she survived. And I believe in the next episode, Victor's gonna turn the car around and go back and get her. Or Penguin's gonna have Victor do it. Because I don't think they'll just leave her like that. The way the story's going, that's what I think. But I don't think she's dead. I don't think she got shot, because it's if the TV rule is, if you don't see the body, that person ain't dead. So that's how that's gonna go. Now, in this episode too, I want to bring up is Sophia and Penguin's, like, relationship or association with each other is, obviously, she was a little girl when she first met the Penguin. You know, he was kind of like, he was her father's right-hand man, the Penguin was. And he's the reason why she got locked up. And it really bugs her. And, you know, at first, you know, Penguin even fooled me. I thought he really meant that. And there might be some truth that he felt bad about that, but he snitched on her for a reason, and it broke her heart. So it kind of indicates too that she might have looked up to Penguin more as a father figure than her own dad. So that's a possibility of where this story is going with season 1 of The Penguin. But there's so many ways they can go with that. And I like how these cliffhangers leaving on like this. This one, I like this series out of all 3 episodes so far, which episode 4 is coming out this Sunday. But I honestly like where it's going. I like this mobster feel to it, and you know, it seems like it's gonna get dark and gritty in a minute, because, you know, this is a gang war, so there's gonna be a lot of deaths now. So I wonder if episode 4 is gonna be where somebody in Penguin's circle gets murdered, you know. And does it be one of the lady females? Is it Victor? Who knows? I don't know, but it's gonna be very interesting with that, to know that these 2 characters, Penguin and Sophia, you know, have a history together. And obviously her childhood life has not been great. And will we get a flashback of that? Probably. mean, Victor got one, so why not Sophia Falcone? I can see that happening. But there's small details that I noticed in this episode too. With the Riddler, I noticed that something's going on with the Riddler. The Riddler is plotting something because there's a billboard where you see one of the a quote that Riddler says, or I also see like that Halloween mask in the Batman film is on a billboard too. But I also saw a question mark symbol in the club, and I think like, man, the Penguin is different. But we know or not the Penguin, I'm sorry, but the Riddler is locked up in jail. So I don't know, but it seems like there's a plan within this that's going on, and it seems like nobody else is paying attention. As far as the Penguin, Victor, Sophia, the Falcones, the Maronis, they don't acknowledge the Riddler. And obviously Riddler's not a mob family or a threat to the mob life. He's his own little type. He's a different type of villain, of course. So, but there's a lot of Riddler Easter egg hints and clues in here, which is very interesting. I like that. Now, let's talk about Victor. I don't know which Victor he is in the DC comics. I read different reports, and I said that the last time. But what I think of this is how I really think about Victor. I think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna cut it. I don't think he's gonna make it. I think by the end of this episode he's gone. Now I'd be shocked if they keep him because it's DC, it's Warner Brothers, Discovery. Like they don't necessarily have a big plan, but this is James Gunn, of course. But even with James Gunn, I don't see this character surviving the whole season. I don't think he's Mr. Freeze. I don't think he's the Victor who runs the Arkham Asylum. I don't think that. I don't really know who Victor is. You know, it'd be really neat. You know, it'd be a real twist if Victor's if you remember the second Batman video game of the Arkham Knight trilogy. The character's name is Arkham Knight. He's the character who, wants to be part of Batman's, Bat family. And there's two ways you can play with that character, but I can see that happening too. But that's a far-fetched theory. I'm probably 100% wrong, but I can kind of see that if James Gunn goes that route, because I don't know how far he wants to take these characters. And again, this is Elseworld, so it's not gonna be really James Gunn's like DCEU or DCU, but they don't technically have a Batman official name yet as the next actor for Batman. But I would still say I would just stick with Robert Pattinson's The Batman. So that's why I bring that up. That's just one theory. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. I think that would be really neat in the future. Obviously, you're not going to get that in one season, but they're going to keep him that long. That's what I would do. But as far as realistically, if I'm just going based off this season, this episode, it just seems like all the signs point at Victor not going to survive. I think he'll be killed off this series soon and not even make it to any live action films. Obviously, Colin Farrell is a big actor, A-list actor. They're not going to just kill him off. They probably want to do some more stuff with him as the Penguin in a Batman film in the future. So I wouldn't be. He's obviously going to be an important key character, obviously. So that's where I think with Victor, though, is I don't think he's going to last long. I also think that Sophia Falcone, I I would say she's gonna last too. I think I think eventually it's gonna be her versus Penguin, in a gang war. I think in time she will have her crew, and Penguin would have his. Because I bet you at some point the uncle gets killed off, and now it has to go to her. I think she'll take her family's business and run it, but I think Penguin will also be victory to what he's trying to achieve in this season. So I also see that, but that also does set up a lot of stuff that Batman needs to handle in the future films or more. So I can. There's a lot of potential about this. Is the main thing that I like about this particular episode. They told this whole story, this whole plot for episode 3, and left it in a way where you can kind of guess there's many different ways they can go with this. And they're not bad choices at all, honestly. It's just all about which way they go. And it's really exciting to see the next episode. So they're really doing a good job so far, and I'm loving it. And I just love how all these characters, besides Penguin, we're learning more about the other characters, and they're adding more layers to the characters so we can see different sides of it. Like, we're seeing a softer side of Sophia Falcone, just her being like a big sister to Victor in that one scene. We're also seeing Victor decide which path he's going to take and how he's trying to become his own person and carve his own road. And again, Penguin's been showing a softer side towards Victor. And he's really good at playing other people. And it's fun to watch that, of course, too. So I'm loving it. So if I had to give this a 1 out of 10, I'm definitely giving it a 10. 10 out of 10, I'm giving it 10. And I'm loving it. It's so cool. I can't wait to see the other mob boss show up. Like, it can be anything. Like, will we get if you guys remember the show on Fox, Gotham City, there's a character named Solomon Grundy. Like, that'd be really cool to see this character in this series. And I hope that he shows up in one of these, like when Penguin does all these deals to, do all these drug dealing business stuff. And I also hope to see just more stuff like that. I like to see Killer Croc. I think that'd fit that type of universe that Matt Reeves has produced from the Batman. Like, it would fit, and it'd give it a little bit more of a sci-fi feel. But I would be okay with that. So that's what I'm kind of hoping too. I'm hoping to see that type of characters in this series as well. Like, there's so much they can do, so I'm loving it. But that's my review, y'all. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment official channel. Subscribe, hit that notification button so you can always be update with all my latest content. Thank you, and peace out.